Hello, everybody. Ooh. I gotta be careful. This toothache, man. Seems like such a bitch move, right? It's like, oh, it's just a toothache. What's your problem, dude? It's been a fucking nightmare, man. It's been like I can't even close the left side of my mouth. Like if the two molars back here touch, it's like immediate pain. And that's better than what it's been the last couple days, man. It's been, I don't know, I guess I managed to calm the nerve down because what I have is I have a cavity that's really bad and the nerve is like getting exposed to shit. And it's so fucking painful. It's like somebody took a knife and just like shoved it in my face and then started like moving it around because it's like in my fucking temple and my ear, like this side of my face. It was just so bad. But today it's been kind of calm. It's just very sensitive. Like I can't touch it at all. Or it's like, oh, which I just did at the beginning of the show. Tomorrow, hopefully it'll be taken care of. I went in hoping to get it taken care of Thursday. They did all the exams and then scheduled me for Monday, tomorrow morning. So hopefully they'll go in and, I don't know if I'm going to need a root canal or what, but it sounds like such a bitch thing too, right? Like, oh, you couldn't do the show because of a little toothache. Bro. Have you ever had like a nerve in your tooth like get exposed because of a bad cavity or it's another world, dude. It's another world. And I'm hoping I can make it through this episode without that severe pain coming back. We'll see, because I haven't talked or moved my mouth this much as I'm about to do for the next 2 hours in a few days. So we'll see. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. Had to definitely do a show today because shit, a week without shows is not good. So if you guys want to support the channel, it's very much needed because I got a lot of fucking dentist bills coming up. So become a member. Links in the description. Also for the Discord or, send a super chat. Help me catch up for the missed shows. It would be very much appreciated, man. I'm going to hopefully next week. I don't know how much pain there's going to be after I get this fixed, but hopefully I'll be good to go for most of next week. I don't know about Monday. We'll see. I have to play it day by day. But there's a little bit of drama going around the Nick Fuentes situation. Dave Smith is basically saying the same thing that I've been saying about Nick. I mean, before people come at me, like, oh, you're a Nick hater, you're this, you're that. I want Nick to be a part of America First. I want Nick to, he's an entertaining guy. He's very smart. There's a lot of use he could play when it comes to like, because what matters to me, like at the end of the day, the point of all of this is to get America First candidates elected so that we can actually put forward American First policies. Okay? That's my goal. My goal is not to hate on Nick, to make Nick do this, to make Nick do that.
LFA super chatted $20.
Thank you,
your bills, brother.
Thank you, Jefe. Yeah, I'm looking at like $5,000. Not just for this, but I have all kinds of fucking teeth issues, man. Because I've been ignoring the cavities. I got cavities all over the place. I got all kinds of dental work I need done. They were like, showed me it's like $5,000. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, it's going to take a long time to get it all done. But thank you, brother. I think it's going to be like altogether like $1,000 just for this one tooth. Insane. Fucking, I hate how much everything costs, bro. It's like fucking impossible. So anyway, and you'll look at the thumbnail and I say, do not apologize. Okay? No, Nick. You should not apologize to Ben Shapiro or Mark Levine. We don't give a fuck about those retards. We really want them to be like such a small part of the Republican Party that they're meaningless. That's what most of MAGA wants. They want America first. They don't want these neocon never Trumpers taking over, okay? But let's play the clip, and that way you guys can understand where I'm coming from. And I can get my point across.
Spocko super chatted $49.99.
Oh, thank you, Spocko.
For your toothitis.
My toothies. My toothies. Thank you, brother. That's very generous, dude. I just hope I can make it 2 hours without the extreme fucking pain. I can make it through a little bit of annoyance, but once it starts feeling like I'm getting stabbed in the face, that's when it's really hard to keep going. But hopefully I'll be good for 2 hours. But let's get to this Dave Smith clip, and we'll get to it. We also got Tucker talking about the time he got attacked. I can't smile either. Smiling makes it worse. So I'm going to try not to smile. The time Tucker got attacked by a demon. It's a crazy story, dude. When people start talking about getting attacked by demons in their sleep, it's like, I don't know. I just get sketched out by that. Like, is it possible? Yes, but also maybe, are you crazy? Is that also possible? I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff we're going to get into today.
Shadowban super chatted $50.
Well, thank you, Shadowban. Thank you, man. This is very generous of you guys. I need to have more tooth problems. I need to have. I have. Every day I'm gonna have a toothache now, guys, so I can get all these big fat super chats. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. That's very supportive, man. Thank you so much. That's 2 very large super chats. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. All right, let me pull this up. We'll let Dave, because I think one thing that's going on here is that Nick and his supporters are not being genuine as to what Dave is saying here. They're spinning it to be like, oh, Dave wants us to apologize to Ben Shapiro, and it's like, that's not what Dave's saying. Okay, I think let's play let me play Dave uninterrupted, and then I'll give more of my opinion on it. All right, let's get to this. Thank you, guys. What are we at here? There we go. It's been a few days. I'm rusty.
I saw a clip of Fuentes the other day, and it was great. It was so funny. It was response to this Ben Shapiro, his last thing. And he goes, Ben Shapiro, I got nothing to fucking apologize to you for, because all the clips you played of me were after I just asked this totally reasonable question, and then you fucking tried to ruin me. So suck my dick. And I watched that and I went, yes, I'm on Nick's side, you know? But then after you think about it, you go, okay, I'm on Nick's side, but it's kind of the same thing as going, oh, you could afford this, we could afford this. Like, okay, yes, he was wrong then, but what about all the fucking kind of like Nazi shit that you now added to all of this? Because It's not like, I just don't, you know, when I hear people going like, oh, whatever, I first was a little suspicious of this, but then I was like, oh, this is a better way to say it. I do go, look, this kid has blown up and he's pushed the Overton window further than anyone I've ever seen push it. And I've been around some really influential people. But the fact is that even now, I think it's better if he's going on Tucker Carlson's show and going like, well, look, I don't really mean the craziest shit I was ever saying. That was kind of like, we were being hilarious and I was saying the craziest shit you could say. Now, I know that's not the easiest thing, especially.
I 100% agree with that. Because I don't think Nick is actually, maybe I'm wrong, but the more I've looked into this, I don't think Nick is actually a guy who's really a white supremacist, racist, a Nazi support. I really don't. You know? And if you don't really have those beliefs, then it's not apologizing to come on and basically set the record straight. And to be like, hey, look, I was being an edgy boy. We were having fun. Here's what I really believe. Yada, 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 yada. Set the fucking record straight. Because what I see happening right now is I see the left and the people on the right who want to destroy America first, the Ben Shapiro, Never Trumper, neocon types. They are going to inflate Nick Fuentes to be the face of America first. And then they're going to use all of his edgy boy clips to undermine America first. And I know some of you think, oh, it's not going to matter. The Overton window's shifting. None of that. I don't buy that. I don't buy that explanation. I don't think the Overton window is going to shift that much that quickly. And I do care about actually winning elections. Okay.
Especially when you're Nick Fuentes. That's a difficult thing to do because your whole brand is that I'm not a bitch. These other guys are bitches. I'm the most real motherfucker ever. And so if you ever walk off that ledge a little bit, it's like you're afraid you're going to lose your whole thing. But to some degree, you got to admit, dude, he's painted himself into a Nazi corner. That's like, dude, this is going to turn off a lot of people if you can't find a way to go, okay, I don't mean that, because that is crazy.
Yep.
And that's
and
why I feel like
that, suck my dick, fine, I don't give a shit. But that is the
I
truth,
agree with
dude.
you completely.
And we all know this, you know?
I think a lot of people agree with this. When you have to, I mean, maybe some people aren't thinking election mode. They're just still in their like little, you know, we have to think elections. We have to think after Trump, how does America First remain a viable political movement that can actually win and dictate policy going forward? Okay, the people who want to see America First not win, they're taking the strategy of let's make Nick Fuentes the face of America First so that we can actually say they're all a bunch of racists and Nazis and we can kill off that movement because that's what they want to do. They don't want American First types actually getting into getting into positions of power and making decisions. They don't want that. And to them, they see a huge weakness, and it's Nick Fuentes. Okay. And I don't think it's a coincidence. You know, people will say, well, Nick's on this generational run. Yeah, he's very entertaining. He deserves to have a big show. But I don't think it's a coincidence that the algorithms are pushing him everywhere and making him the face of America First. Because in their calculations, that is going to destroy America First in the long run. I think they believe that. And I don't think they're wrong at this point in time. So Nick responded to this. Let's get to Nick's little clip. And they switch it to like, oh, he's saying to apologize. He's not saying to apologize. It's not about Ben Shapiro and making him happy. It's about fucking winning elections, bro. That's what it's about. All right, let's listen to this, and then I'll chime in some more. Let's hear what Nick's got to say.
A lot of people, like Dave Smith in particular, Dave Smith has been going around, and I like Dave. I'm not trying to start drama with him again, but I saw Dave Smith did a show with that Clint Russell guy this week, and he said, why doesn't Nick Fuentes take back all the horrible things he said, like about Hitler? And first of all, I don't think it's
that's not what Dave said.
That horrible,
just listen
actually. I don't know why you're all offended. I thought you're a comedian. I don't think it's that bad. That's number one. Number two,
Dave is a comedian, but Nick's not a comedian. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I thought Nick wanted to have like a serious political movement. America First, right? Or is America First just like a comedy troupe LARPing as a political movement? Is that what it is? Is this not a real serious political movement that's serious about taking political power and actually bringing forth American First policies into our government? Or is this it's all a comedy bit? Which is it? You can't have both. It can't be a comedy bit, but also a serious political movement. So to hide behind the comedy shit's fine. Be a comedian then. Do a comedy show. And make it clear, like, hey, this is a comedy show. I mean, whatever. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. Do that. That's fine. But when you're also like trying to be the head of a political movement, that's when it becomes fucking a problem.
this is why. Why will I never apologize? Why will I never do that? Because when you are dealing with the Jewish mob, when you're dealing with these Jewish gangsters, they're never operating in good faith. Know that. Understand that. Bank that. When you're dealing with Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Josh Hammer, these guys are gangsters. They're
Yeah, but at the end of the day, again, it's not about Ben Shapiro or Mark Levine. It's not about making them happy, dude. We know they operate in bad faith. This is about the success of the America First movement. Okay? Not Nick's show, America First, but the actual ideology of America First. And not turning people away from it. You know, making it a viable fucking thing, not allowing it to be portrayed as something it isn't, because it's not a racist Nazi fucking movement. But that's what they want it portrayed as, and they're using Nick to portray it as that. They know it would destroy the viability of the movement. That's why they push that shit. I mean, why would they try so hard to paint us as Nazis and racists if it wasn't something that they knew would destroy the ability for America First candidates to actually win? I don't know. It's a weird game, man. It's a weird game that's like, is Nick really America First, or is Nick First? Because if Nick was really America First, he would be making the decisions that would lead to American First candidates winning elections. But he seems to be making the decisions that are good for him. I don't know. I don't know if they're so delusional that they think they're so fucking powerful and popular that they're going to just win elections because they get so many clicks on the internet. I don't know.
crooks.
Doesn't make much sense.
These guys are liars, and they are never operating in good faith. You think the Anti-Defamation League and the SPLC, you think these people operate in good faith? You think they're honest? You think they're looking for a sincere apology? They're not.
And again, that's not the point. This is Nick. Nick is doing this thing where it's like, we point out like, hey, look, you're funny, you're smart, but this shit is actually going to harm the chances of America First candidates being elected, right? But then it's like, oh, but what, the Jews, and why should I apologize? That's not what we're saying. We're saying you got to fucking come back from that ledge. Really tell people how you feel. Stop with the edgy fucking boy bullshit. Because are we gonna be a serious fucking political movement or not? I mean, because it's, to me, you're not a serious character. And maybe you should just admit that really I'm just an edgy comedian and I'm not to be taken seriously when it comes to politics. So we can save the American First movement from being fucking labeled as some shit that's going to stop it. I mean, I know some of you don't believe this when I say this. I guess it'll take, us losing elections before you finally go, oh, okay, maybe this is not a palatable message that's going to actually win elections. To me, it's ridiculous that some of you think you can be all hell Hitler fucking sounding like a pro-Nazi and like that's the type of shit that's not going to immediately derail a political movement. But maybe I'm the one out of touch, That's always possible.
They are looking for submission. They are looking for humiliation. Shapiro and the ADL and Mark Levin put the screws in anybody that is critical or contrary to the Jews in Israel. They destroy your reputation. They lie about you.
And what I'm looking for is to actually defeat them. Okay, they want to retake the Republican Party, and they see you as a weak point in the American First movement. And I actually want to defeat them politically. That's why they're doing this, Nick. This is why they're attacking you and making you the face of like America First, is because politically they see that as like, checkmate, right? They see that if they can make you the face and they can make it, people believe that you are a racist and a white supremacist, and that's who the face of America First is now. They've calculated that that's how they defeat America First. That's what it's about. It's not about pleasing Ben Shapiro. It's about winning fucking elections, dude. Again, he seems more like he's Nick Fuentes first than he is about America first. I think he's Nick Fuentes first, maybe like gay furry porn second, and then maybe American first. Maybe that's like third on his list. But it needs to be number one, Nick. And sometimes maybe you might need to take some sacrifices and actually maybe lower your ego and be like, let me be real about how I really feel. Because I don't really think he's a racist. I really don't. I've watched his clips. He plays both sides of the fence. He'll say the edgy shit, but at the same time, he'll also like pull it back and be like, I'm not, So like, to me, it doesn't appear that he's really a racist Nazi lover. He's just doing it for edgy comedy. That's what it appears like. So just make it clear to people. Make it clear to people. To me, a show like maybe even Megyn Kelly or Tucker Carlson, to go on there and be like, let me tell you how I really feel, okay, about race and about this and that. And you could distance yourself from this. You really could. And you need to do it for the sake of winning fucking elections, bro.
Make things up. They try to hurt your career any way they can. And they do this not because they want you to see it their way, not because they want a sincere apology. They want you to bow down. They want you to submit and surrender. They want you to acknowledge that they are in charge of you. They are our moral betters. They are the boss, and we are supposed to defer to them and kowtow and kiss the boot. That's what that's about. That's what they did to Kyrie Irving.
So this is all a fucking disingenuous take on what Dave's saying. Dave's acting like Dave's saying, oh, you need to bow down to Ben Shapiro and kiss his ass. That's not what Dave's saying. Dave's saying you need to think about the big picture of winning fucking elections, dude. But he spins it to like, oh, they want me to bow down to Ben Shapiro. I'll never do that because that's what they want. No, what we want to do is we want to defeat Ben Shapiro politically. We want to defeat the neocon movement within the Republican Party for good and kill it off. That's what we want. And we're not going to do it if we play right into their fucking game and be like, oh, yeah. Oh, Hitler was great, guys. Oh, yeah. it's frustrating having to make this point because it's like, it's such fucking common sense.
That's what they did to Ye. That's what they did to Mel Gibson.
By the way, Ye was apologizing. We got a clip of that coming up later. I don't know. Ye's, we're not saying you should do like Ye, bro, but you should make it clear that, hey, a lot of the shit that looks really bad is just me being funny. It's just me being an edgy comedy guy. It's not my actual beliefs. That's it. Just make that fucking clear. And I think people will get it.
That's what they do to everybody. Give us $1 million to the ADL, and we want an apology and a book report from the Holocaust Museum. This is why I will never apologize. This is why you should never apologize. Because these people hate you. They hate you. They don't care about your well-being. And they're not looking for an apology. They're looking for submission. And I will not give that to them. I would rather die. And that
No, but what you will give them is a fucking election victory. That's what you'll give them. So great, you'd rather die. You'd rather America First lose and a bunch of fucking shitty ass warmongering neocons take over the Republican Party. That's what you'd rather have. That's the choice here. The choice is win election or lose election. Not do I bow down to Ben Shapiro? Do you defeat Ben Shapiro or do you lose to the neocon Ben Shapiro? In that movement. That's the real fucking thing that we're talking about here. Not you should sit down and suck Ben Shapiro's dick and say, I'm so sorry. No, that's not it. That's not it. Just make it like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Nick is really a racist and he really wants to make a white supremacist movement and he thinks it's going to take over the country. If that's the case, then he's just a fucking idiot. Okay? But I tend to think that's not actually the case.
That's the difference. Kevin Roberts gave them an apology, and look at what an idiot he looks like. Everybody, look at the clown. Look at the absolute fool, Kevin Roberts. Look at how he humiliated himself like a bitch. Go and watch his apology video. Watch it on repeat. Look at how this old, bald, white man got on a camera and groveled.
Nick is so good at changing the subject of the conversation. Rather than being about like, hey, maybe you should make it clear what your actual fucking beliefs are so people can stop painting you to be this or that based off some edgy jokes you made. And no, it's about, these people are so terrible and why would I ever apologize to these terrible people? They want me. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that come election time, this is not going to play very well, dude.
Like an imbecile. The false humility, the shrugging. He goes, I own up to it.
I don't care about Matthew D. I don't care if people still call him a Nazi. What matters is that enough voters, like the average voter, realizes like, oh, he's actually not a Nazi. He was just being an edgy boy. And I think a lot of voters can understand that. Okay, is Ben Shapiro going to stop calling him a Nazi? No, there's very few people who give a fuck what Ben Shapiro thinks, okay? But if, you do manage to convince the average voter that America First is being taken over by a bunch of fucking, that's not going to be good. That's going to be bad, okay? That's going to lose elections.
I made a mistake. I said venomous coalition. That's an anti-Semitic trope. I need to be better. And they didn't accept the apology. It wasn't good enough. He's been doing that for a week. Again,
I must remind you, nobody has asked Nick Fuentes to apologize to Ben Shapiro and Mark Levine. Okay? Instead of actually, in a good faith way, addressing what Dave Smith's point, he's spinning it to be like, they want me to apologize to Ben Shapiro. It's come on, Nick. You're better than that.
For a week. He was on a Zoom call with the board on Monday. He was in an all-staff meeting, which got leaked to the whole internet earlier in the week. He has been doing that little routine for an entire week. Embarrassing himself. And look at where that got him. Did they accept the apology? No. Did they relent? No. Is his job safe? No. None of them are letting up. People are resigning. People are leaking communications. He is still being attacked. He's getting read the riot act by foreigners and his own staff. Everybody look at Kevin Roberts, the week's idiot. This is the idiot of the week. And you should be embarrassed. You should feel like a cuck. You should feel like a bitch that you did that.
Yeah, if you're apologizing like a little bitch to a bunch of people who, yeah, I mean, he's talking about, again, he's completely changed the subject to be about nothing to do with what Dave Smith was saying. I mean, that's what you do when you can't really address the actual argument, which is like, hey, we actually would like to have America First people win. And, you know, those clips that have painted you in a corner and now they want to make you the face of America First. Like, it's, you know, probably if you're serious about America First and the political movement, you probably need to figure out how to work around that shit. Okay? And it's not impossible, especially if he gets on a big show and that show gets a ton of views and he makes it clear. It's fine to be like, hey, stop funding foreign wars. We need to stop funding Israel. We need to stop sending money to Israel. We need to get all foreign influence out of our government. Okay? That's fine. That's fine. Criticize Israel all you want. That's not the problem. People are going to understand that because a lot of people, I think the vast majority of the country, is probably not really happy with the situation right now. So that's not the problem. The problem is when you start to make it look like you're not actually just criticizing Israel as a country, but you're actually hating on an entire population of people based on their religion.
This is why we never apologize. This is why we never play these games, because we are in a war. We are not on the same side. Do not kid yourself. These people that put Israel first, they are deadly serious. They keep the frame. They're not friendly. They're not mirroring your body language. They're not mirroring your language. They're not trying to appeal to you. They're not trying to meet you where you are. They're not empathetic or sympathetic. Yoram Mazzoni flew to D.C. to be the probation officer because you committed the great crime of not condemning a vile anti-Semite. These people are not our friends.
Yes, and we want to see him politically defeated, Nick. But in my opinion, what I'm seeing here is Nick is putting his own fucking well-being, his own success. Because, like, look, dude, again, if you just want to be an edgy boy comedian and run a fucking edgy boy show that's very popular, great, do that. Never apologize for it. But it's different when you want a political movement that's actually going to win elections. That's a totally different game. Okay? And you're being fucking pushed to the top of this movement right now, whether we like it or not. So please move in a way that's actually beneficial to getting American First candidates elected, because that's what should matter more than anything. More than your feelings, more than your fucking show, which you've named America First. It should matter more than any of that. More than, oh, I gotta maintain my edgy boy. You know, I can't piss off all the people who just want to scream about Jews all the time. I gotta keep them happy. Fuck them. They're not gonna win us the fucking election, dude. I'm sorry, dude. You guys out there, you're like, well, why would I vote for them? If you're not calling out the Jews, I'm not gonna vote. Well, don't vote then. You're not the one that's gonna sway it, and you fuckers are never gonna be happy anyway.
They're not our allies. We cannot work with them. If you're an Israel First psycho lunatic Jew that is hysterical and paranoid, you think you're living in the Fourth Reich, you are not friends with us. You're not America First. You're not even Christian. So we're not on the same team. We're actually set against each other. And when you're set against an enemy and they know exactly what they're about and they're serious and they're fighting you and they're trying to defeat or submit you, you don't apologize to people like that. You don't show them that your hand is empty. You don't show them that you're unarmed.
No, you have a weakness, right? You have, like, think of it like, let's say your weakness is your Achilles heel, right? And you know this is your weakness. And they point out, hey, he's got a weak Achilles heel. And then you charge somebody with your Achilles heel out front, just ready to be fucking attacked. It's like, no, that's your weakness. You got to fucking work on that.
So that they can cut you and stab you. You don't say, hi, Ben Shapiro, I'm sorry.
Again, no one's asking him to say that. That's where he's being fucking disingenuous. Dave Smith didn't ask him to apologize to Ben Shapiro. I've not asked him to apologize to Ben Shapiro. It's fucking disingenuous.
All you're going to get is cut. All you're going to get...
$20.
Yeah,
Smash
it does.
the like. It makes Ping's tooth feel better.
It does. It does. And let me see what the numbers are, because every time I miss a show, yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. This is why YouTube is such a mean bitch. Because like you get sick and you do a couple less shows, you take 4 days off or whatever because you can't do the show because you're sick, and YouTube's like, okay, well, we're not going to send your show out to anybody. You're going to do half of your normal viewers as punishment for being sick. Fuck you, YouTube, you fucking piece of shit. I'm getting sick of this fucking platform, bro. I'm so sick of this fucking platform. It's like, dude, there's so many garbage fucking shows with garbage fucking takes that just kill it with numbers, and they're boring as fuck, and I don't understand it. And I have to fucking pull my eyeballs out to get 100 viewers, dude.
Is stabbed.
Thank you for the 20,
metaphorically speaking, when he tried to embrace an enemy like
Much
that.
appreciated, brother.
And that's exactly what happened here.
Smash the thumbs
so
up.
let this be a
Cold C became a
lesson.
member. Cold C celebrates 10 months of membership. Get well soon, Ping.
Hell yeah, Cold C, 10 months, brother. Thank you for the long-term membership. And yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow will be the first day. And like, oh, because this came on Sunday, and then like by Tuesday it was really fucking bad. Monday night it really got bad. So this is going to be a week of dealing with this shit. I'd like to just not have some pain. I'd like to just be back. One thing about pain is it makes you appreciate not being in pain. Because you can forget what it's like when you're like 100% no pain, like you take it for granted. And then all of a sudden pain, you're like, oh fuck. And then when you feel good, it's like so nice because you like appreciate not having pain. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. It's so weird too. Like, isn't it bad enough that our bodies fell on us? We also have to deal with pain as well. It'd be nice if we were like, a system that could just be like, okay, we're done, shut down. But it's no, your system's going to shut down very slowly, and then you're going to be in tons of pain as that goes on. Wonderful. Wonderful. God came up with a great system there for us,
For all those people that think this is a great big misunderstanding, for all these people that think we can deal in good faith with these people, with these psycho Zionists, Israel First lobby,
who, again, we want to defeat, Nick. Dave Smith wants to defeat them. I want to defeat them. Okay? And what our complaint is that we're not going to defeat them if their fucking accusations of us being a bunch of Nazi racists stick. If that shit sticks, we will lose. Take that shit to the bank. And it's funny because all the people that will disagree and be like, well, Ping don't know what he's talking about, the Overton window, blah, 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 blah. You guys aren't going to come back in a year during the midterms, during the next president. You're not going to come back and be like, oh, actually, Ping was right. It's so frustrating. The amount of things that I'm fucking right about that in the moment, go back to COVID. 2 weeks to slow the spread. I came out right away. I was like, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a lot longer than 2 weeks. This is about, and everybody's like, Ping, you're a fucking grifting piece of shit. You're stupid. I was 100% right. Any of those people come back and go, oh, actually, Ping's right. Maybe I should listen to him next time. No. That gets frustrating. It gets frustrating when, and I'm not right about everything, but I'm right very often for the people that are actually care and keeping track. And it's frustrating that when you accurately diagnose something, you use your little analytical brain to see the game being played and seeing steps ahead, and then people just come and attack you for it. And then, I'm right again. Maybe I should stop caring about being right and just go with the crowds. That seems to be the move.
You
just
think
go with
it's
the
just
crowds.
a matter of, if only I apologize for all the truly bad things I said, we could get this whole thing straightened out.
Again, nobody said to apologize, Nick. Nobody said that. And it's very convenient that you're switching the whole point being made to, oh, they want me to apologize to Ben Shapiro. No, we don't. We want you to kind of get real about what you really believe. Because, again, I've watched enough of your show now. I don't really think you're a racist. I don't really think you hate Jews. I think, like most of us, you're very fucking sick of our fucking government not putting the American people first. You're sick of foreign influence over our government, Israel included, China included, every fucking country that has foreign influence, because it's not just Israel. They may be the biggest one, but they're not the only one. I don't know. It's just fucking. Come on, Nick. We want to win elections, bro. That's what we want. Glenn Beck wants to figure out why America is rallying behind Nick Fuentes, but says debating him is not worth anyone's time. I disagree. I think people need to have the tough conversations with Nick. I think it'd be great if he did it on a big platform and really just, instead of being an edgy guy.
$19.99. Yeah, for most of history, if you had trouble with your teeth, you were dead.
Yeah, before antibiotics and penicillin, right? I mean, that was the case with a lot of things, man. You know? Oh, stub your toe, dead. Now, I mean, I don't know how overplayed that is, because I don't go to doctors unless I'm dying or I have a lot of pain. So, you know, I've cut myself and let it go and didn't die. But yeah, we got to be thankful for modern medicine, as even with how fucking corrupt and expensive and all that is. Like, it's still a blessing, you know. Thank you, brother. Thank you, 20. Thank you for another 20, Spocko. You rock, brother.
Well, I don't think he's worth anybody's time, quite honestly, because I don't think he actually believes anything. I think he's.
See, Glenn Beck, again, this is another one. Here's the thing about these neocons. They've been very sneaky and very quiet throughout Trump's term. You almost forgot they were neocons, right? First, they were never Trumpers, talked all kinds of shit about Trump. But now that Trump has basically hit that window that he's a lame duck, and now the battle to take over the Republican Party is beginning, it's kind of, we're being reminded that these are the fucking neocons who we always fucking hated, okay? Who fucking reigned over this country under George Bush and got us into fucking 3 forever wars, got us the Patriot Act, who never saw a war they didn't fucking love. So yeah, these people need to be defeated. They need to get their ass kicked, and they need to be just a fucking distant memory of it. Remember when neocons used to have power in the Republican Party? That's what we need. And we need the America First fucking ideology, the movement. We need that to actually win and take over the Republican Party, or forget about it. Forget about it. If we're just back to the neo-libs who are becoming fucking commies and the neocons, like, fuck it. It's going to be shitty. It's going to be what? Mike Pence versus fucking Gavin Newsom. Yeah, that's going to fucking suck. We cannot allow that to happen, man. Because it's going to be shitty.
I think he's from this new culture that says the most outrageous things for attention, and I'm not going to give him any attention. I am very clear.
You're giving him attention now, Glenn, fuckhead. By the way, I don't have to be nice about Glenn Beck anymore because he fired Alex Stein. Fuck you, Glenn Beck. I've never liked you. You're a piece of shit. Okay, I didn't want to attack him because my boy Alex Stein was working with him. Okay, so I was trying to be nice, but even when I interviewed Alex, I was like, fucking Glenn Beck. You remember Glenny Becky? You know, never met a war he didn't fucking like, neocon piece of shit. I calmed down. But since you fired my boy Alex Stein, it's fucking on, Glenn Beck. Fuck you.
On anti-Semitism, I am very clear on who and what we should stand for. I am very clear on fascism, communism, authoritarianism, and the U.S. Constitution. So I don't think he's worth debating because there's no logic behind any of that. It's rage, et cetera, and I think it's performance art. However, know that exists, and that will affect people. So now let's look and take another step back from that. Okay, so people hear that and take it seriously. It's our job to understand, why are they susceptible to that? Why?
Riley, that's actually a good point that I was thinking about making as well, but I forgot. Riley English, beautiful name, by the way. I would love to know what Nick's vision of the future is. He doesn't want the old guard, which I agree, but he doesn't want the MAGA movement either. I think that's what Nick needs to do. Nick needs to basically come out and be like, these are the policies I'm for. This is what I'm for. This is how we limit the influence of foreign countries, Israel included. Okay, but when you just make it about Israel, it's like, it's not just Israel. Israel might be the worst offender, but We need to basically address our political class, which is being bought out by foreign influences across the board. We need to address that. Come out and actually, like, what are the policies that you want to implement? Get into specifics, you know? And maybe, you know, it wouldn't hurt to just kind of be a little more like Tucker Carlson. You know, criticize Israel the way Tucker does, where he goes, actually, I don't believe in, I believe that we judge people as individuals, and that's the Christian way, and you know, yada, yada, yada. It wouldn't hurt if that's really like, because at the end of the day, that's, as a Christian, that's, you should be more aligned with Tucker Carlson than with the, all Jews are bad, you know, blah, blah, blah segment of the population. Because first of all, it undermines all criticism of Israel. It allows Israel to just go, oh, those people that are criticizing us, they're just a bunch of fucking anti-Semites, rather than have to address it. So it's the best thing that could happen to Israel, for them to kind of buck any responsibility.
How is it that anyone with any sense of logic and decency can fall for that? They've been disenfranchised by something. What is that?
Yeah. I don't know why I had this clip in here, but I did. Here's Kanye West meeting with a Jewish rabbi. Now, this is not what we're saying you should do, Nick. You shouldn't do this, okay? You don't need to do this, okay? Because what you need to do is say, I'm not apologizing because I got nothing to apologize for. Here's what I really believe. I'm not going to apologize for some edgy jokes I made to be funny. And here's what I really believe. That's it. That's it. Here's what I really believe. Make it clear you're not a fucking racist, white supremacist, fucking, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Make that clear.
I feel really blessed
this is
to
weird.
sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing
This is not AI. I know a lot of you are thinking this is AI.
with some various issues, dealing with bipolar also. So
Yeah, we all like defended everybody that said that Kanye was mentally ill, and we were like, that's fucked up to say Kanye's mentally ill. And, well, here he is saying that I did this because I was mentally ill. Fucking Kanye, bro.
I would take the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme.
Yeah, his voice is off. I don't know if he's drugged up, if he's on his medication or his bipolar, or this is just him taking a apologetic fucking, you know, just trying, you know, sometimes when people are like trying to apologize, like they'll talk different.
Where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So I wanted to come and take accountability. Sometimes people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause or what causes it and the way you act when you have this disease. So it's like if you left the house and you left your kid at the house and your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child.
Is this AI, bro? I'm starting to think this is fucking AI. He sounds so different.
Mess up the kitchen and mess up the garage and mess up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child.
That don't even sound like Kanye, dude. That doesn't sound like fucking Kanye, bro.
Back when your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't sound like fucking Kanye.
And that's the way I look at it. It's like I gotta go clean up the kitchen, I gotta clean up the living room, I gotta clean up the garage. Yeah, and it's a big deal for me as a man to come and take accountability for all the things that I've said. And I really just appreciate you embracing me with open arms and allowing me to make.
Yeah, that's one of the theories. Carl says his bank accounts must be dry. That's one of the theories, is he's like running out of money.
Amends, and this is the beginning and the first steps and the first brick by brick to build back the strong walls.
And look, I'm not against Kanye apologizing. If Kanye feels he needs to apologize and he feels bad about the shit he said, then fucking apologize, dude. You know? But you know how people are gonna see this though. Like, oh, he's blackmailed, he's this, he's that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
שיהדות, רבי said the Judaism, היא נתנה לעולם את התשובה. The Judaism brought to the world a way for someone when he regret about something that he has done wrong. היהדות חיה על התשובה. And the Jews live on this way of if someone did something wrong, he can regret and fix it. And the rabbi is hugging you and hugging everybody. And God willing, and from now on, strong things and good things, and only good.
No, Axa says, you don't know if it's fake? I mean, look, I would think if this has been out long enough, if this was AI, it would have already probably been fact-checked and community noted and all that shit. Kanye hasn't denied it, and there's a clip of Nick reacting to this, which we're going to play in a second. So, like, if this was AI, you would think it would have been confirmed already. I don't think it's AI. I think Kanye is just, I don't know, maybe on his meds, he seems a little different when he's on his meds. I don't know.
You are a very good man.
Amen. That's the best, man. Very good.
Well, I don't know what's going on with Kanye, but yeah. Let's see what Nick's got to say about that.
What type of blackmail do they have on Kanye for him to be humiliating himself like that he was on his knees?
It's not blackmail. What could they even blackmail him with? He said he sucked his cousin's dick.
I forgot all about that, dude. Remember that song? He made a song about how he sucked his cousin's dick. He makes a good point. Like, I mean, they could still be blackmailing him if there's even darker shit that they've uncovered than that he doesn't want to come out, you know? I don't know. It's also possible that he just feels bad. That's possible too.
Literally, what could be worse than that? Like, what would be more dirt than that? He came out and said, not only is he a cuck, like an actual sexual cuckold, but also that he sucked his cousin's dick and everything. And you're saying, what kind of blackmail do they have on this guy? What else is there? What else is out there? What else could be out there?
You guys are, I mean, I see some of you guys are 100% convinced that it's AI. Look, the little checker things where you put it in and is this AI? Those things are not very good, guys. You can't take that shit to the bank, okay? They're not very good yet at identifying AI, those little checks. So, I don't know. I don't think it's AI. I don't, but you guys seem 100% sure that it is, huh?
He wore a swastika t-shirt. He posted his favorite porn video on Twitter. He admitted to being a cuck and sucking his cousin's dick. And you're saying he got blackmailed? He did that himself.
If it's AI accident, then why hasn't Kanye came out and said it's AI? You would think at some point Kanye would be like, oh, this is AI. You think Nick would be like, it's AI?
He said those things himself.
You guys think everything's AI, and I understand why, but not everything is fucking AI, dude.
I don't even know what would be left at that point. So no, I think he just, look, here's the thing about Ye. Here's what I know about him. He's like anybody. We get angry. We get frustrated about things that we have to go through. And then even if we think we're in the right, maybe we regret what we say. I mean, if I had to guess, he's genuinely a caring human being. He's genuinely somebody that wants people to feel heard and for people to feel loved. Like, this is not a hateful guy. I know him. I've known him for years now, and I've spent a lot of time with him. And I could tell you, he loses his temper and he gets frustrated, but he...
My take on it, like the whole Nazi Ye, the Hitler loving Kanye, that version of Kanye. To me, it seemed like he was just pissed off. He was angry. And he was like, I'm just going to say all the things that I'm not supposed to say, as kind of like a fuck you to everybody. I think it's kind of similar with Nick, too. I think that's part of the reason why Nick said a bunch of the edgy shit he said. You get to a point where, like, I get it. People are just tired of being censored. People are tired of being told you can't say this. They're tired of being called Nazis. They're tired of being called racist. So at a certain point, you're like, well, fuck you then. I'm just going to do all the things that piss you off. Which is great. But not great for a political movement that you want to actually win elections.
He's not a hateful person at all. He doesn't hate anybody and he doesn't hold a grudge. He'll crash out over little things, but he doesn't hold a grudge, even against people that he really should, actually. Like, he's genuinely he's one of the kindest, sweetest, nicest guys you could meet. And if I had to guess, I would say that maybe he feels bad. Maybe he feels bad because his rhetoric was very intense, and I'm sure people are telling him, you know, we're hurt by this, we're offended by this. And I imagine that being a sensitive guy, you know, maybe he wants to, I know that he, well, I don't want to say anything that'll get him in trouble, but I would say that he has very strong feelings about these subjects from my conversations with him. But I also know that it's not his intention to hurt people's feelings. So, you know, I think that maybe he feels a little remorse if he hurt people's feelings, I guess. Because he knows a lot of Jewish people. He's got Jewish people to work for him. So maybe there's like something like that.
That makes sense.
But so suffice to say, I don't think he's being blackmailed. I don't think he's doing it against his will. I think that his
Bro, it's so sad. The people who just can't believe anything because of AI now, like anything that they just don't want to be true. They're just like, it's AI. You're fucking stupid falling for an AI video. Dude, if it was AI, somebody would, Kanye, fuck you tell me, Nick, who I'm sure has communications with Kanye. You're telling me Nick doesn't know it's AI and Nick couldn't confirm with Kanye whether it's like, come on, guys. I mean, don't let AI make you fucking crazy, dude. And it's not that hard to tell AI right now. There were points where Kanye's voice sounded different, but that can just be him sounding different. That doesn't mean it's fucking AI. I don't know. It's so frustrating, dude. Like, you just don't want to believe it, so it's AI. Oh, I put it into some thing that tells me whether it's AI or not, and those things are notoriously fucking wrong. They're terrible. They're very often will tell you something's AI when it's fucking not. But okay, believe what you want, guys.
Earnestness and his compassion is maybe being... I don't want to say that he doesn't have agency, but maybe that's being used against him a little bit. You know, because it's not easy to just say, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? It's not easy to say, fuck everybody. You know, if you're offended, I don't care. I'm political. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm sort of used to it. Maybe he feels differently, but if I had to guess, I would say it's that. But I know the guy's not blackmailed.
Gripping bro.
A lot of people think it's blackmail, but I mean, according to Nick, who would know better than Nick? Here's Alex Jones, and Alex has been talking some shit about Kanye. Let's see what he's got to say about it.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
Remember this?
Yeah, and it's a big deal for me as a man to come and take accountability for all the things that I've said, and I really just appreciate you.
Look, if Nick ever runs for president, a lot of you are going to hate to fucking hear this. But if Nick ever becomes a serious political guy who really wants to win elections, I can see a timeline where Nick does this. I know you hate to hear it, but I could see it happening if Nick wants to fucking run for office someday. And why? Oh, because the Jews bought him? No, because you have to win elections, guys. You can't just appeal to the fucking woke J-pilled fucking population and win elections. In fact, appealing just to that segment of the population will lose you elections. And if you were a smart, woke, J-pilled person, you would understand that.
Well, it's Friday evening, and we have major breaking news right now. Kanye West, who a few years ago came to our studios and said,
JCD says, I literally only get my news from this show. JCD, that's why you're better than everybody else.
I love
You're the man.
Hitler, has now gone and met with one of the top esoteric Kabbalah rabbis in the world, probably the top one, and apologized and said that all of his attacks, saying Jews the essence of all evil, was because of he was bipolar or because of medication. Now, I've got my view on this one I think is really going on here, but first I'm going to play the clip of what he did with this rabbi. But let's just be clear here. He has decided to take the blue pill in the Matrix. Now, I don't mean the blue pill not blaming Jews. No, I'm just saying the blue pill going with the establishment. I'll explain. But first.
Or the money pill. You know what? I want to stay a billionaire and I want to keep selling shoes. So what do I got to do to get back in that fold?
Here's Morpheus from the 1999 film The Matrix talking to Neo about the red pill and the blue pill.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill.
This is such a good movie, man. It really was. I mean, it was made by a couple weirdos, but fuck. What a good movie.
The story
Money pilled, yeah.
You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And here's the thing that people don't want to admit. Most of you would take the blue pill. It'd be hard for me to not take the blue pill. Oh, like I could actually be comfortable, and even though I'm not eating steak, it sure feels like I'm eating steak. Or I can go into this other world of pain and fucking... that's the sad reality, is most people would take the blue pill.
So here's my issue with all of this. I'm quite the novice historian. I've read close to 1,000 books on history. I've experienced a lot. I've traveled the world. I don't believe the whole dichotomy in the universe is down to Jews and everybody else. Yeah, Israel's corrupt, has any issue like a big, powerful country. Not a big country, but powerful country. And it's involved in our politics, and there's all sorts of horrible stuff. And when, Netanyahu with Bush...
$5, bending the knee for all to see. It's a sad statement.
Yeah, if I was Kanye, I wouldn't have apologized. Again, I would have maybe added context. Because if Kanye was to come out and go, you know what I did was me lashing out because I was angry. Because I did have situations where I felt like I was being taken advantage of, and I wanted to say everything I wasn't allowed to say. And does that mean that's what I believe? That I believe all that I think Hitler was great? No, I said it because I wanted to piss people off, and that's that. That's it. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm sorry. No, just give the context of why you did it.
I still blew up the World Trade Center. I exposed it 24 years ago. The next day, for anybody else, and I got canceled off everything. Lost 70+% of my radio stations. But I didn't go, I hate Jews, just because Jews worked with our government to blow up the World Trade Center and launch the war for the Middle East. I was just like, yeah, it's another false flag. It's terrible. Project for the American Century, Dick Cheney, who died this week.
Yeah, YouTuber says, InfoWars still standing. Yeah, I'm done doing videos about InfoWars being shut down. I get burned every time I see them talk about we're being shut down, and then they don't get shut down, and then I look stupid. It's like, dude, I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad they're still around. But I'm not gonna report on InfoWars being shut down until it actually gets fucking shut down. Because when I just go on Alex's word, when he does a post, he's like, we're being shut down, but probably Tuesday. I'm not falling for it again.
Bragged about it.
Although it is real, though. They probably will shut him down at some point.
He said we want 3,000 dead, and a year before it happened, and a new Pearl Harbor. So to me, it's just recognizing evil. And evil can come out of Chinese, it can come out of Muslims, it can come out of Arabs, it can come out of Europeans, anybody. And when Israel does bad, I hold their feet to the fire. But when Kanye came here a few years ago with Nick Fuentes, man, it was, I love Hitler. And it's all so good. And when he was here, I thought, man, this guy's mentally ill. And by that, he took the GIMP mask off after the interview, and his eyes were pure black. I don't mean he's got black pupils or he's got, no, I mean, they were pure. And I talked to doctors later. I said, what could do that? They said 5-6 hits of ecstasy, 5 lines of methamphetamine. I mean, it was hardcore. So I felt sorry for him, like I had a mental patient on air. Because he said he was coming on to debate news and cover topics. He shows up in a GIMP mask, does 3 hours on air, takes the mask off. I mean, eyes totally blown out. So when he goes to this rabbi and says, I want absolution, I want out of this, I want to say I'm sorry, I can get where he's coming from. But again, it's a 180 from where he was. He's saying these people are the devil, they screwed me, they robbed me, which is wrong to say the Jews are one monolith. I debated him then. But it's a 180. Israel's not above being researched. Israel's not above criticism. I say cut off all the foreign aid to Egypt, Nigeria, Israel, everybody. Israel's richer than we are. Hey, Israel, give me some foreign aid.
Yeah, I heard Israel has like a surplus. Like we're literally going into debt, wrecking our economy, and then we're paying for shit for Israel when they're in a fucking surplus? How does that make any sense, dude? How does it make any sense that we're going into debt, but yet we still send money to Israel when they're in they should be sending money to us.
So I don't have some fetish to worship Israel. I also don't have a fetish to think nothing but Israel. But I got to say this about Kanye. I hope he has reached rock bottom. I hope he comes up out of this and gets better. I don't think he's a bad person. But the 180 from the Jews are the devil to the Jews are like Jesus and they're going to wave a magic wand and give him absolution puts a very bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, but that's what crazy people do, though. They go from one extreme to the other. It's right in line with, Kanye being crazy, in my opinion.
And I'm not saying this rabbi I've heard of before is a bad guy, but Kanye West makes groveling apology to New York City rabbi Pinto, blames bipolar disorder after years of anti-Semitic tirades. So he's gone through this whole edgelord thing, I love Hitler, all the rest of it. And now he's over here, we'll show the clip in a moment, going to hold hands and apologize.
Yeah, we saw the clip already. Let's move on. What else we got here? Tucker Carlson, here's him talking about Fuentes. And then the next one I think is going to be his story of being attacked by a demon, which is insane. Tucker Carlson says after he lashed out at Nick Fuentes, his phone blew up with people warning him who he was messing with. Nick Fuentes is the single most influential commentator among young men, period.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about why Nick Fuentes.
I interviewed Fuentes. Well, I should just give the publicly available information on this, which is that I was in an extremely personal and bitter war with Fuentes like 3 weeks ago. It mostly wasn't public, but Fuentes was attacking my father, a subject I have like literally no sense of humor. My father passed in March, and was really kind of the patriarch. Not kind of, he was the patriarch in our family and a hero to every person in our family. And some of what Fuentes was saying about my dad was, true, okay, which made it worse.
So I guess that's why Tucker never responded to what Nick was saying. That's Nick did fucking own him with that, because he was like, Tucker called him a gay fed or whatever, and then Nick came back with like, well, your dad's high level CIA, and then there's a clip where Tucker seemed like he was kind of lying about it, and Tucker never really responded to it, and so it looks like, man, it's okay. I'm sure. Look, not everybody that works for the CIA is a bad guy. Just 99% of them.
But I was just so offended by that I couldn't deal with it, and my son and my wife. So I was really mad at Fuentes, and then I did an interview, and just out of I was so mad it like popped out, and I attacked Nick Fuentes.
You guys need the volume louder on this clip, or was it the last clip? Let's see. I'll see if I can turn it up a little bit. I mean, it sounds good on my end, but maybe not on y'all's end.
In this interview, this was last month, I think, ish, and And then I got all these calls from people saying, do you know anything about, I don't know anything really about Nick Fuentes, other than he's attacking my dad, my wife, and my son. And it was like, actually, Nick Fuentes is the single most influential commentator among young men. Like, period.
He's got 5 million subscribers on Rumble.
It's bonkers. And I didn't know any of it. I mean, I'm 56, so I'll just like state the obvious, you know? Like
He's not our demo.
My oldest child is 31, like much older than Nick Fuentes. So I kind of missed a lot of this stuff. I pride myself on not missing things. I totally missed that. Really? And then it turns out that, you know, he has no advertisers. They've been trying to cancel him since freshman year in college. Ben Shapiro actually tried to shut him down freshman year in college, and it didn't work. In fact, it had the opposite effect. So I was like, and so I talked to a million people I know, like, maybe I should interview Nick Fuentes to hear what is this actually? And so I decided to do it. And I thought it would be controversial. I didn't think it would become what it's become. I'm not going to offer any defense other than, you know, it's kind of interesting. I've interviewed I'm doing this for 34 years. So I've interviewed everybody, most of them bad people, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, you can interview murderers and serial killers, but if you interview the wrong political person, if you dare to interview somebody who criticized Israel, Tucker, how dare you? How dare you? So this is, I remember Tucker coming out and talking about this, that he was attacked by a demon in his sleep. And here he details what happened. And it's crazy. Now look, I like Tucker. I think Tucker could be somebody that could take on like political power in the America First movement. Like he could be somebody who could win elections. But there are a few things that kind of weird me out about Tucker. Number one, his laugh. He has the laugh of a mentally deranged person. That's a warning sign. Okay, maybe it's just a flaw in his personality, and it doesn't mean he's fucking crazy, but it comes across like he's fucking crazy. And then this one's a little bit of a warning sign too. Maybe I'm wrong, but people who get attacked by demons in their sleep, maybe I'm, I've never experienced it, right? Maybe if I experienced it myself and I was like attacked by a demon in my sleep, maybe I would like not think it's crazy, but because I don't know. Who am I to doubt his experience? Let's hear him. Let's hear the demon story.
You think you were attacked by a demon. And I have to tell you, like a lot of people mock this, they roll their eyes, but I look at like what happened to Charlie, what happened in the wake of Charlie.
Somebody says sleep paralysis. Well, he was what a lot of people claim, like when they get attacked, they get clawed up and they're bleeding and shit. So maybe you claw yourself, but then there should be evidence that you clawed yourself. You would think you'd be able to tell if you clawed yourself. I worry about the wife. What's that wife doing while you're sleeping, dude? You're waking up covered in blood.
What happened at the Ascension School in Minneapolis, where that man went in there and shot a bunch of little children praying at their church school? And I challenge anyone to tell me there aren't demons among us.
Well, I never thought there were. I thought the whole thing was like bizarre.
So what happened?
Because like culturally, I'm just not from a world where people are attacked by demons. And in fact, when it happened the next morning, when I saw the blood on my sheets, I was like, I actually called someone who works for me, who's a very sincere, lifelong evangelical, and I'm like, have you ever heard of this? And she's like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. I was
4 dogs? Does he sleep with 4 dogs? Yeah, but I mean, you would know if your dog is that crazy that he's just going to start clawing you.
Like, what?
I don't know.
Not to Episcopalians, it doesn't.
Stuff it down.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm not embarrassed at all, and I don't care if I'm mocked. Don't get anything out of making this up, and I'm not making it up.
But what happened?
I had this crazy experience where I was in the truck with someone coming back from quail hunting, and I had all of a sudden we were talking about someone I despise, and all of a sudden I had this crazy empathy for the person, like really intense empathy, like I could understand why this person was doing these horrible things. And I said to the person in the truck, this is a family dispute, right? So I said to the person, maybe my brother, and I said, I think I know what's happening here. This person feels this way, that way, this way. And my brother goes, how did you know that? I said, I don't know. It just like, and my brother goes, I think like God is like speaking through you or something. And I felt total, true empathy for this person I truly hate. It was like the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. I have no idea where it came from. My brother's like, I think that's from God. Like, there's no way you can. I was like, wow, that's kind of wild. So then I get home. We have this huge dinner party, which we always have dinner parties.
It's weird for me because that's like every day for me. it can be a blessing when you can put yourself, yeah, especially like strategically, like when you can really put yourself in somebody else's shoes and think through their eyes. Like strategically, it's a blessing because you can usually predict their moves, right? But it's also kind of a curse. It is like constantly just like, just putting yourself in other people's shoes, and like empathy can be a bit of a bitch, but it has its advantages.
And I forget about it. And I'm telling you this because they're twinned. The one leads to the other. I had this profound experience with God, like profound and beautiful and unexpected. And then I go to bed with my wife and 4 dogs who sleep in the bed. My wife said 4 children. My dogs are hunting dogs. All 5 of them wake up like that. Like we have no home invaders in my house. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I check and I couldn't breathe at all. My throat was closed. It wasn't like I was apnea or was strong as I couldn't breathe. So I get up, I stand in the doorway of our bedroom, and I'm like, wow, I'm dying. I could feel myself starting to gray out. And then I started walking in the backyard, and then it slowly came back. Like my throat kind of opened up a little bit. I was like really weirded out. I walked back in.
Look, I'm not doubting his story, but it's a little weird. Because if you wake up and you can't breathe, you're not going to go for a walk. If you can't breathe, you're going to sit there. You're not going to like, oh, let me just get up and go for a walk. I can't breathe. I mean, maybe when he says I can't breathe, he was having a hard time breathing. Not like he literally couldn't breathe. Because if you literally can't breathe, you're not going to get up and go for a walk. You're not going to start walking in the yard.
And my wife wakes up.
I don't know. That's just weird.
She goes, what is going on? I said, I don't know. I can't breathe. I feel better now. And all of a sudden I had this horrible pain underneath my arms. Like on the side of my chest. Like bad. I thought I'd been like ripped with a knife or something. It just was very intense. So I go into the bathroom, I flip on the light, and I have claw marks on both sides, on right and left side on my ribs, and they're bleeding. And they're literally claw marks, 4 on either side. I put my fingers in them, don't fit my fingers, and I sleep on my side. So how could? And by the way, no one woke up. So I show my wife, and she's like, "Oh my gosh." And then I have this like crazy intense desire to read the Bible. So I read the Bible and I pass out in like 2 minutes, and I wake up and the next morning I thought, man.
Okay, El Jefe. He says he does that. So I don't know. I've never had that experience of waking up and not being able to breathe. But yeah, I guess. Yeah, El Jefe says he does that. I do, Ping. It gets the heart rate up and forces you to breathe. I've been doing it for years. You have asthma or COPD or something like that, El Jefe? Or do you just get attacked by demons regularly?
I have a wild
I gotta
dream.
stop smiling.
And then I see blood in my sheets, and I go in the bathroom, and I have these bloody marks. And my wife goes, I think you were attacked by some supernatural being. And I was like trying to be logical about it. And I was like, yeah, I definitely was. And then I called one of my producers.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I was trying to be logical about it, and I definitely was. Yeah, that's logical. I was trying to be logical. Definitely was demons. I'm not saying it wasn't demons, but yeah. Did you check your wife's fingernails? Was there any of your skin under your wife's fingernails? I don't think it was the dog. I mean, that'd be real weird for a dog to just start clawing you.
She's like, oh yeah, well, that's pretty common. I was like, what? And I've had a couple other experiences, not that crazy, but where you really feel God's presence, which is marked by peace and true empathy, love for other people, which doesn't come naturally to me. I'm kind of a dick, obviously. But you know it when God is acting through you, and then they're followed by some wild attack. Like, why? I've had a couple things. It's just like, why? Anyway.
So that is an idea that people have. That basically, demons attack you when you're becoming close to God, and you're like powerful and close to God. Demons will attack you. So like that's one of the downsides of being close to God is you bring about demon attacks. I mean, just the idea that he had empathy for somebody and actually put himself into somebody else's shoes, and that was like him, like that was him getting so close to God that it brought about a demonic attack. I don't know, man. Look, who am I to doubt his experience? I believe him. I believe he's telling the truth. But as a, kind of a skeptical mind, it's like, I really wish you would have had a camera on. You should have a camera over your bed now, just to see if it happens again. Is what's really happening there.
I'm not an expert on this. I'm hardly a theologian. Of course, I would never pretend to be an expert in anything. I can only say what happened to me. It was 100% real, and it completely changed my view of the world.
Well, what did you learn from your conversation with Lee Strobel, who wrote a book on the supernatural and who also wrote The Case for Christ? Many of you guys recommended that book to me, and it really was amazing. And Lee Strobel came on your show in September.
Yes.
On his new book, which is about the supernatural.
Yes.
It's about miracles. It's about angels. It's about demons. It's a great read. But was there something in there that spoke to you?
Everything about it. I mean, I grew up in a church, I'll just admit it, with shame, in the Episcopal Church, where all the supernatural stuff was taken out. And at a certain stage in my life, I was like, why am I going?
Spocko super chatted $1.99. I had a demon problem, so I got a divorce.
That's funny, bro. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, man. At least, that type of demon, you can just divorce them. They take half of your shit, but at least you get rid of them, right? MFG0308 says, if you believe on Jesus Christ, you're sealed by the Holy Spirit and cannot be possessed. Unbelievers can become possessed if you open yourself up to that shit. Do not fuck with it. Yeah, well, I think there's a distinction here between demon possession and demon attacks. But yeah, I mean, look, maybe this is a Catholic thing, but I was always taught, like, the saints, the people who are the closest to God are the ones that come under demonic attack, not demon possession. They don't get possessed by a demon, but they get attacked by demons.
The church.
Again, I don't remember where I heard that, but I learned that somewhere a long time ago.
I love
was
hanging
told
in bed
that
with my wife and dogs on Sunday morning. Like, why am I? And we were ties to church. Like, why am I doing this? There's nothing in here that's like.
I got to read this comment. Sorry, Dan. You're right. I would shit my pants. Dan says, imagine you are mid sleep paralysis at like 3 a.m. and you just hear Tucker's laugh. I would shit my fucking pants, bro. That might be the demon in Tucker. Every time he laughs, that's the demon kind of popping out, bro.
Be nice to your neighbor? Okay. Like, if it's not supernatural, then what's the point? And when I read the Bible, it's like, it is about the supernatural.
Yeah,
like, that's the whole story.
It's true.
It's like God intervenes supernaturally, bigger than, above nature. And that's why it's different from every other book. And the New Testament especially is filled with Jesus casting out demons. I literally didn't know that. I knew there was the crazy guy in the cemetery who broke his chains, but I didn't really realize that not only was Jesus, but also the disciples were casting out demons that were possessing people and causing them to hurt themselves. And as someone who had a drug and alcohol problem, like I know kind of that weird, I've seen it a lot in others also, that weird desire to harm yourself.
By the way, there's a reason they call it his demons. He's fighting his demons.
It is totally real. Because ultimately, evil, we always think of evil as like something that like diabolical people do to gain, like, I'm screwing you, I'm killing you so I can take your gold. But what we never acknowledge is true, which is evil flows through people and destroys the people. Not just the victims, but also the person through whom it flows. People who are possessed by evil are themselves destroyed every single time. And of course, I've lived a life, so I've seen a lot of that, and now in retrospect, I understand what it was. And so much of what we experience is from outside of ourselves. We are acted upon constantly by the spiritual realm. And Lee Strobel just affirmed what I was beginning to realize, which is we are the subject of massive supernatural influence all the time. And every other civilization from the beginning of time has acknowledged this and written about it and left artifacts that point to that belief. And only in the last 80 years have we just foreclosed that possibility, and we've embraced this, the dumbest religion ever created, scientism, which is like, oh, I can't measure that. It's not real. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Right? That's like insane, actually, when you say it out loud. But that is our state religion. It's mandated, by the way. If you don't believe it, you can't serve in high office. You're mocked. You're literally disqualified from professions if you don't embrace scientism, which is like the fakest thing ever invented. Like, I would always, like, as a kid, study these weird religions and be like, that's insane. Nothing is as insane as scientism. And so once you discard it, and you're like, yeah, it's nice to measure things in a lab. Is that the sum total of truth? Obviously not. What is true, then you realize, like, holy smokes, the spiritual battle is totally real, and we are the subjects of it.
And that will lead us to UFOs. All right. Now, I know you're
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been getting all these so I've been getting back into like reading, and like watching videos about the Bible and stuff. And man, the algorithm's really been trying to push like Gnosticism on me. Have you guys seen that too? There's all these videos. Forgot the name of the channel. There's a guy whose channel he's always talking about like, because there was like multiple kind of movements within Christianity at the very beginning, and then there was the Gnostics who had like this crazy belief that like Yahweh was actually like a lesser god that was. It's this whole weird fucking theory. And then you got all these like Gnostic Bibles, like it makes you wonder though, like how many different belief systems were there around Christianity that were just kind of lost. But yeah, I won't do a good job explaining it, but it is interesting, the Gnostic version of things, that's Sophia, like there's like the real God who created like these, like, I'm going to get the terminology all wrong, but like these 12 like lesser gods out of himself. And then one of them, Sophia, like a god of wisdom or some shit like that. She kind of wanted to create, but she did it outside of God's help. And she created this like monster, as it's called, and as some people call it. And that monster is actually Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament. And Jesus came to basically introduce us to the real God. And like this whole world was created by Yahweh, who's like a monster, because Sophia created Yahweh and then had to hide him from God because she was ashamed of it. And like Yahweh thinks he's the God, he's the only God. And it gets crazy to the point where like the snake in the Garden of Eden is actually Christ. And he's trying to like wake people up because apparently like we still have the divine spark of the real God, even though we were created by this false God. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, I don't know what it is with the algorithm. It's just like every 10 seconds, there's another video about like Gnostics, Gnosis is the Greek word for Gnosis. That's because they believe in secret, like the secret knowledge, like the Gospel of Thomas or whatever. It's the secret teachings of Christ. And that's what a lot of, what's the guy's fucking name? On the tip of my tongue. There's this British guy who's like, he does so many videos about it. And that's what a lot of people believe, like the Gnosticism was the secret teachings of Jesus that he only taught to his disciples. He didn't teach it to everybody else. And I don't know. It's all crazy. It's all crazy. But yeah, man, I hope, look, Tucker, you need to get a camera above your bed. Because, if it happened once, it could happen again. And we need video footage. We need video evidence of what the fuck is happening here. Ben Shapiro continues to kvetch about Tucker Carlson's interview with Nick Fuentes. Shapiro argues that racialism and Christian nationalism aren't actually popular, while stating that war with Iran is. I think Ben's in his own little bubble.
The idea
war with Iran is not fucking popular at all
on the right, that if you must gloss Nazis in order to win. If they start to become, if the face of the Republican Party continues to move in a direction that is racialist, that is religiously exclusivist to the extent that it seems to be moving, if that is the way that the Republican Party decides to play it, that is not an electorally sound strategy, just on a pragmatic level.
I mean, I hate to agree with Ben Shapiro. But on that point, he's not wrong.
I don't see, like, these are not, the American people do not like the politics of, say, Nick Fuentes. And the attempt to launder his ideas into the public view, which is what I think Tucker has been doing with a wide variety of rather nefarious characters over the course of the last 2 years. I don't think those laundered views are particularly popular with the American people. And so if the right wants to pretend like, moving in that direction is going to win them additional votes, not the number of votes you're going to lose by moving in this particular direction.
People might say Tucker Carlson's got the biggest conservative platform in America. Isn't that proof that actually these views are very popular?
I mean, they are popular.
Yeah, but to equate Tucker's views with Nick's views, like, that's not very fair. It's not fair because Tucker has kept it to criticizing Israel. He's not fucking gone to it's the Jews route. So, I don't know. They're really, really trying hard to paint Tucker as an anti-Semite. as a Jew hater when there's no backing for that other than, oh, he interviewed Nick Fuentes and didn't attack him the whole episode. So therefore, he must also be an anti-Semite. It's just bullshit, dude.
With a certain segment, are they popular broad scale across America? I mean, I know many ambulatory psychotics who have very large audiences in the online space. I'm not calling Tucker an ambulatory psychotic. I think he's very actually coherent in what he's doing. But I know a lot of people who have a big audience. We should note that every big audience in the media, you're talking about 3-4 million people. The electorate in the United States is generally about 160 million people. And so you can find, it's a big country. You can find a niche for anything. I think one of the mistakes politicians make is they look at X and they say, this is representative of the American body politic. And that is just too online. It's just way too online. I mean, just to take one obvious example, Tucker Carlson was very much opposed to President Trump's strike on the Iranian nuclear facility and said that it was going to break MAGA. That was a 90-10 proposition in the opposite way for President Trump by all polling data among the Republicans.
Yeah, I don't buy that shit at all. I don't buy that shit at all. Everybody in MAGA was pissed off about that, dude. Everybody in MAGA was pissed off about that, except for the Ben Shapiro neocon types. So who are you polling? Who the fuck are you calling? Is it like, everybody that like used to watch Glenn Beck and fucking Bill O'Reilly? A bunch of fucking 80-year-olds nearly dead or something? There's no way it was 90-10, bro. If anything, it was 90-10 the other way, people being against it. That's such bullshit, dude.
Republicans were very much pro that. And so, but if you'd read Twitter, then you would have gotten precisely the opposite impression. And so I think being too online is one aspect of this for sure.
Yeah, dude, whatever. You're full of shit, bro. You're full of shit. If it was 90-10, we would have the regime change would be taking place right now. You're so full of shit. So Ben Shapiro reveals text with Tucker Carlson, tells full backstory on how they got to this point. So this is how Ben and Tucker had, because they used to be friendly, right? They used to do each other's shows and shit.
So you and I have talked about Nick Fuentes.
By the way, Megyn Kelly is holding up fucking fantastic, isn't she?
Many times over the years on our many appearances together. And that's how I knew about him, because he was saying absolutely terrible things about you. And I am going to show a video, please forgive me, of one of my first introductions to this guy, Nick Fuentes, and what he was saying about Ben. This is a video of him showing himself playing Grand Theft Auto, right? A video game where you shoot people. And he's pretending that this character in the video is Ben. Let's watch.
This isn't even the right fucking clip.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Man, that makes me laugh and laugh. That's a funny one. What a chance encounter that was. I think I just saw Ben Shapiro.
And it goes on. It goes on.
I mean, I would hate for people to believe that the Nick Fuentes sort of, my problems with Nick Fuentes are about me, because they really are not. They are about the fact that Nick Fuentes is a truly horrifying person who believes truly horrifying things. And again, there is a reason why Charlie Kirk despised him. There is a reason why every mainstream political commentator has been highly critical of him. It's the reason why these are not arguments. This is not a person who's making arguments. He is a Hitler-loving troll, and I say that advisedly. He literally says on his show that he loves Adolf Hitler. Okay, so the reason this has come up in recent weeks is because Tucker, your guest last night, decided to have him on last week and to completely gloss him, in my opinion. And you can make up your own opinion as to what you think Tucker was doing during that interview, but I know what it looks like when Tucker Carlson decides to be an aggressive interviewer, when he decides to ask difficult questions of people. Tucker is eminently capable of doing that. He did it to Ted Cruz quite thoroughly.
So why is Ben doing this? According to Nick, Ben is doing this because he wants all of us to bow down and kiss his ring or whatever, dude. Like, they want power and control over us. Yeah, by winning elections. And if they can fucking legitimately paint America first, because by the way, Ben Shapiro's not America first. Ben Shapiro is a neocon who probably would like to see America first become a thing of the history books. The same way I'd like to see the neocons become, just a dot in a fucking little dot in, well, more than a dot because fuck, they had power for so many fucking years. But that's the goal of this, man. And Nick could easily come out and go, bro, you're taking my jokes as literal. I'm not a fucking Hitler fan. I don't love Hitler. They were fucking jokes. And these fucking retards like Ben Shapiro can't even understand comedy. There you go. There's your response. Not apologies. You don't have to apologize. But just make it clear you're not a fucking Nazi, bro. Just make that clear to people.
He decided for any number of reasons, and I try not to attribute motivations to people, that he was going to treat Fuentes with kid gloves, that he was going to not ask him about any of the things that I've just mentioned, literally any of them, and to essentially normalize Fuentes, act as a sort of gateway drug or as what I've called Tucker, as an ideological launderer of bad ideas over the last couple of years. And this is not coming from a place of animus for Tucker on a personal level. I've known Tucker for a very long time. Tucker and I, whenever we're in personal situations, we get along great. I think I saw that Tucker talked about how we were at Charlie's memorial in the vice president's box together, and he's correct. I mean, we saw each other, we said hello, we talked, it was very friendly, and all of that. And it's also true that a couple of days after Charlie's murder, he reached out and he called me and he said, listen, I know that we're at odds, and we've been at odds for a number of reasons.
Colt, see, I would agree. In normal situations, never explain the joke. But when you make a joke that people then say, "Oh, you're a Nazi. You love Hitler," it might be okay in that situation to explain the joke rather than actually be labeled a Nazi and have people believe it because they think you're being serious.
Mainly political. I mean, again, on a personal level, I'd go fishing with Tucker anytime. The real question is, for me, I got into this business because I care about the ideas and I care about the ideals. And so when you're determining what is conservatism, what should the future of America look like?
Dakini, you're right. Right? Dakini says, it doesn't matter if Nick makes it clear he's not. They will still claim he is. Who will? Ben Shapiro? No one gives a fuck what Ben Shapiro claims. What we don't want is the electorate, the people that we need to vote for us to believe it. Okay? That's what matters. Not whether Ben Shapiro and all these people who cry anti-Semitism the moment you criticize Israel. We're not talking about convincing them. Fuck them. We got to go to war and kick them out of the party. Who we have to convince that we're not actual Nazis are the people we need to actually vote for us. The Joe Schmo everyday fucking voter who's going to be turned off by that type of message. Who's going to be turned off if they're actually sold on a message and believe it. Again, it's not about pleasing Ben Shapiro. It's about defeating Ben fucking Shapiro. Okay?
And where do you draw the lines? Those are the questions that I need to answer in my job. For me, my business is really not about friendship. I have lots of friends, people who I love, with whom I...
Chronometer, I don't care about being called a Nazi. I care about winning elections. Chronometer, I care about America first actually having power in the future to be able to decide the course of this fucking country. That's what I care about. That's where my thinking is. Okay? So please listen to me when I talk. And stop pretend like putting you coming up with like theories that have nothing to do with anything I fucking said. I've made myself 100% clear. Okay?
Disagree on politics and don't believe they should be leaders in the conservative movement, for example. And that to me is the real question. In any case, Tucker reached out. He said, we've had a bunch of disagreements, and what if we could put those aside and align toward the DSA in particular, is what he mentioned. And I said, Tucker, you're totally right. Let's do that. That would be great. In fact,
the TSA?
The DSA. The Democratic...
She got that's a blonde moment. It's so cute. She has her blonde moments.
Why the TSA? How did that bring you together?
The Democratic Socialist of America. And the reason
I know.
Yes, and the reason that I'm taking out
TSA
my
only
phone
divides people.
Is because, yes, the reason I'm taking out my phone is because I don't just, I like to evidence what I'm saying with, actual evidence. So I texted him. And the text exchange was very nice. I mean, here's what the actual text exchange went like after the call. So I texted him.
Ben, it's not a good idea. Dan says Ben is already defeated. Bibi's actions the last 2 years did that. That sounds nice, but if you take that mindset of they're already defeated, they've already lost, that's not a good strategy. You know when I'll say they're defeated? When we actually defeat them in the primaries. When the next election cycle, the next presidential election cycle comes up, and we go through the Republican primaries, and they're laughed out of the fucking primaries and get their ass handed to them by American First candidate, then I'll say, yeah, we defeated them. But be ready for the fucking battle. Don't take these guys lightly, dude.
I said, thanks so much for calling. It means the world. It truly does. Should we do a show together talking about the DSA threat, Democratic Socialists of America threat, and orienting in the same direction? Happy to do whatever it takes to bring everyone back together for the fight that matters. And Tucker then wrote back, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to spend the next week or two thinking about how to be most effective. The country is clearly on the brink. I reached out repeatedly after that. Nothing happened. And again, I thought it was a good idea at the time. I think I felt differently after I saw what he did with Nick Fuentes, and after he proceeded, in my opinion, to spend the subsequent weeks doing literally nothing to fight the left. I say this with sadness because Tucker used to be, I think, a deeply important part of the conservative push to win. The number of times that Tucker Carlson has mentioned Zoran Mamdani since October 5th on his show is one.
Chrono, he says the other side doesn't appear to be worried about being called names. Are you serious, dude? The side who literally lies about what they are, pretends that they're liberals when they're progressive, pretends that they're Democrat socialists when they're fucking communists. Their whole fucking thing is being communist, but calling it something else and pretending it's not fucking communism. Because why? Because if the American people actually believe that they were communists, they'd stop voting for them. Not everybody, but there are some dumbasses who are like, oh, it's Democrat socialism. It's not communism. And it's like, oh, they just changed the name. And now it's not communism? Okay. Trust me, they fucking care, dude. They play all kinds of games like that, dude. They never come out and tell you what they really believe. Because if they told you what they really believe and really wanted to do with this country, they would lose so much fucking support so quickly.
And it was in the context of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson talking about the appeal of Zoran Mamdani. Just by way of contrast, not because I'm a perfect representative here, but because you've talked about Zoran Mamdani a lot. A lot of us have. Since October 5th, I did 17 separate shows on Zoran Mamdani, including 4 in the last week before the election.
Well, it didn't work, did it? Maybe you should have done 100 fucking shows on it, Ben.
Okay, because when you're orienting against the left, you really should orient against the left.
Okay, so a lot in there.
Yeah, but you're not orienting yourself against the left right now, Ben. You're orienting yourself against America First, which is on the right. So maybe you should take your own advice on that.
I think, just to be clear, so the breakdown from the detente after Charlie was him interviewing Fuentes. Was that the next thing that happened that led to the blow up?
I mean, yes. I mean, okay. I had not spoken a word. There
so it
were
wasn't
things
that he attacked you, or you had something?
No, I don't care about people attacking me. And I don't think Tucker cares about people attacking him. I mean, again, we're professionals. We're in a business where people comment on what we say publicly.
Yeah, good. Thank you for reminding me, guys. Yeah, hit the thumbs up if you haven't. What are we at yet? Let's see. I need all the help I can get on this episode. What happens when you take days off? 61 likes. Guys, we can do better than that. If you're enjoying the show, please smash the thumbs up. Thank you, guys.
Again, this is why
much love.
I think you and I differ on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
But what?
Because
I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not. But my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? But I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yes.
Okay.
Look, first of all, I disagree with a lot of what Candace Owens has said about the Charlie Kirk assassination, but that's not what she's doing. She's asking questions. I think she thinks there's some shady shit going on with TPUSA. So maybe there was some money laundering or some shit like that. But she's never come out and said Charlie Kirk is Erica Kirk's responsible for. I don't know. It seems disingenuous. I don't watch her enough. Maybe she did, but what I've seen, she hasn't gone that far.
Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Canada's show.
I believe you. I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that
what I understand
friendship
Candace
should not, in our
doing.
business, I think it's important. Listen,
Candace
friendship
and
should
I are
not
friends.
trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay, so I don't totally disagree, but
Manifest requirement. That's a new one.
I think the way of handling that, at least for me, is much different. So I saw things go south between you and Tucker, at least from my vantage point, when you disagreed on Israel. That was obvious. And
Well-
he was, well, let me just make my point.
Sure.
And so he was saying things that were critical of Israel and our policy towards Israel. And then you did one show where you did what I thought you should have done if you disagreed with him, which clearly you did, which is say what you believe and what you think is factual and like educate your audience on what you think are the real facts and give them the evidence for it. But you named him and it felt like an attack. And that to me was the beginning of the end, where he was like, now it's on. Because he felt personally attacked by you, as opposed to just challenging his idea. I think you named him and you kind of diminished him. And, you know, he's an 800-pound gorilla, and if you mess with a gorilla, he's going to fight. And to me, that's where it started to go south. And because I remember that day being like, oh, shit.
Well,
I don't want to see this.
But here's the thing. I would urge everybody to go back and listen to the show that you're referring to, where I criticized Tucker's ideas, not Tucker as a person. Tucker then responded by claiming that I do not love America. That is a direct quote. That I do not love America because I was spending too much time covering the October 7th attacks, and then proceeded in January to then say that I wanted his children to die in a foreign war.
No lies detected. I don't know, Ben. It sure seems that way to me, bro. It sure seems you would love to send a bunch of Americans to go fight in the Middle East. I mean, a lot of neocons, not just Ben, a lot of neocons seem to be that way. I don't know. I kind of agree with that statement from Tucker.
Okay, so
I mean,
those are different.
That's a rhetorical
No, it is
point.
not. I'm sorry, it's not. An attack on motivation is a very different thing from an attack on an idea.
His point was that you were sounding like a neocon, and he's upset
Well, he
with
is a
anybody who
neocon.
wants us to get too involved in Israel's conflict because he feels it endangers American children.
Okay, the idea that, number one, the idea that I want the United States to be directly involved in Israel's conflict is...
Wait. Didn't you want the fucking regime change? So you don't want America to be involved, but yet you want us to help with regime change. Which one is it, Ben? Sure seemed when it came to the regime change situation, you seemed to be for that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ben was like, no, America needs to stay out of it. But I'm pretty sure Ben was all for regime change in Iran. And who was going to do the regime change? I mean, maybe Israel would have fucking done some shit, but it would have definitely needed us to back them and get involved. So, which one is it, Ben?
Not
Get it?
true.
No, I know that, Ben.
I've been urging Israel to get off of American aid for literally as long as I have been active in politics.
But I'm making
That
clear
is
what
not-
his point was.
But
Like,
my point is that that's not his point. And again, none of this.
So we
blew
disagree.
We disagree on the interpretation of what Tucker has been doing for
Correct.
the past 2 years, and
Yes.
it's very difficult for me to believe that Tucker is merely anti-Israel when, for example, today in his newsletter, I mean, I can directly quote it if you'd like. In his newsletter today, he claimed that Zoran Mamdani is not anti-Semitic. This was his newsletter today, this morning.
Well, dude, didn't I see Mamdani having a fucking huge meeting with like a bunch of Jewish people and having a meal with them? What has he done that's anti-Semitic? What has Mamdani done that's anti-Semitic? Other than probably be like, free Palestine. I guess saying free Palestine, I guess that's anti-Semitic. I don't know. I don't want to defend Mamdani. Maybe he said some shit that was anti-Semitic. But usually with people like Ben, being anti-Semitic means just not supporting Israel in every fucking thing they do.
I mean, I'm happy to read the text. It's a little extraordinary because again, it is kind of shocking stuff. So here's what Tucker Carlson wrote in his newsletter today, or what his newsletter says.
Is Mamdani Jewish? Is that true? I got to look that up, Sabong.
Under his name, he said, "Is the incoming mayor a fan of Israel? Does he want America to fight its wars? Not particularly, but a Jew hater? That's a different conversation. We've never seen anything to suggest he falls into that ugly camp. If we're talking about fighting the left, defending Zoran Mamdani, who literally said that he has no opinion whether Hamas should disarm, who posed alongside the 1993 World Trade Center unindicted co-conspirator, who would not disown globalize the Intifada."
Well, according to AI, again, take it with a grain of salt. No, Zoran Mamdani is Muslim, He identifies as a Shia Muslim and was raised in an interfaith family. His mother is Hindu. Yeah, according to Google AI, he's not Jewish.
Who suggested
Where are you
that
hearing
whenever
that from?
there's a New York Police Department boot on somebody's neck, it's an IDF lacing the strings. To suggest that that's not anti-Semitic in any way, no way.
Okay, but listen.
Or when he,
I'm
or
going
when
to give you a defense of Tucker here, and I don't need to defend Tucker because I'm not Tucker.
Tucker can
But
perfectly
I'll
well
just
defend
say,
himself.
I think in general, because I know him and I listen to him and I understand generally where he's coming from. He would say his problems are with Israel, and he would say that shot that Mamdani laid against the IDF is a shot against the IDF and Israel, and how he thinks they're pro-war, not against Jews.
Okay.
And I think
all I can say is when Tucker Carlson finds himself in complete alignment with Zoran Mamdani, it is very difficult for me to believe that he does not agree with Zoran Mamdani.
Is in a place right now of the same place that Charlie was getting to toward the end of his life, the same place that some people.
See, this is how fucked Ben is, right? Like, none of the other policies matter. It's like, if you're not 100% pro-Israel, you're basically more fucking Mamdani. Like, forget all of the fucking differences between Tucker and Mamdani. They're both critical of Israel's war. They both defend Palestine. So they're both basically the same.
Had tried.
Because in his mind, like, that's all that matters is Israel and whether you support every fucking thing Israel has ever done. And if you don't, you're an anti-Semite.
Drive me, which is you're under withering, nonstop accusations of being something you know you're not. But from some people who you love and who you've been protecting, at least in my case and Charlie's case, for 2 years, who you've been completely defensive of. And Charlie and I both felt, and because we talked about this on my show, like, what's happening here? Why are they dropping charges of anti-Semitism against us when we love?
That's a good point. So she's pulling out the Charlie Kirk card. Because remember, they did this to Charlie when Charlie was like, all of a sudden, you know, he's Israel's greatest supporter, but then when you want to fucking start introducing regime change in Iran, all of a sudden Charlie's like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not America first, no new wars. All of a sudden now Charlie Kirk's an anti-Semite. And yeah, I mean, people saw it.
Jews, and we're both open Semites. We're Zionists.
Let's be blunt.
I don't know how Megyn Kelly does it, man. How old is Megyn Kelly? How old is Megyn Kelly? Hold on, I gotta figure this out because how is she holding up so good? "54. Okay. This is probably like the 100th time I've looked up how old she is because every time I'm like, geez, she still looks so fucking good. Mommy Megan. What's up? All right, let's go on. What do we got next here? Yeah, Trump is really not very... She's not very popular right now, unfortunately. This is him at the Washington Commanders game. And he was being booed like fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, this is DC, right? Like, DC's filled with a bunch of liberals, so... But I think his popularity's falling really fast. Everybody's mad, Donald, because you promised a bunch of shit. You got people all hyped up for tax breaks, you teased getting rid of income taxes for people making under 100,000. You teased all this fucking great shit, and what have we gotten? We thought, this was going to be like Trump unleashed. It's his last term. They tried to kill him. They tried to lock him up. We were going to get a man on a warpath. Instead, we got first-term Trump again. And everybody's rightfully disappointed, as I am as well. It's disappointing. It really is. That's some loud fucking booing. Let's get to this. I think they were supposed to vote on the fucking... see if the government's opened yet. We're supposed to open the government. see what we got here. Here we go. Senate passes vote to end historic 40-day shutdown. The U.S. Senate approved a 60-40 procedural vote late Sunday to advance a bipartisan deal funding federal agencies until January 30th, 2026. Providing back pay for furloughed workers, reversing President Trump's federal firings. Oh, that's an L. You see what I'm saying? Like, even the Doge progress, like, it started off so good, dude. It was like, oh, tariff revenue. We're getting tariff revenue. Maybe we can actually cut income taxes. Oh, fucking Doge just finding all these ways to cut all of this fucking spending and this corruption in our government. All of it just doesn't matter anymore. So fucking useless, dude. Why don't you act like a fucking big swinging dick, dude, and realize, like, we have a small opportunity here. What the big thing they're pushing now is, like, getting rid of the fucking, fuck, dude, I hate when my brain stops working with words I should fucking know. The filibuster. That's kind of scary. It's like, maybe we should get rid of it because then maybe we'll actually get some fucking shit done. And the Democrats are probably going to get rid of it anyway. So maybe we get rid of it now so we can actually get some shit done. I'm kind of leaning towards getting rid of the filibuster because the Dems are going to get rid of it anyway. Why don't we get out in front, get rid of it, and then we could pass things like voter ID for, voter ID. Maybe we could actually do some fucking things, you know, and actually not have a wasted 4 fucking years. Let's see. Tonight was a very bad night. Oh, I guess Bernie's not happy about this. I guess Bernie really doesn't want people to get their food stamps.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote.
I guess I like it if Bernie doesn't like it.
What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling. And in some cases,
Dalkini says, at this point, it feels like 90% of our tax dollars go towards bullshit. It's not that it feels like, Dalkini. It actually is the case. That our we get robbed fucking blind just so we can send that shit to some other fucking country and never, ever actually take care of our citizens.
This is tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we are already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted. But tonight,
that's what those were some fucking. To pretend like that's a mandate for the whole fucking country because you won some local elections. Go fuck yourself, dude.
That is not what happened. So we've got to go forward.
Why is he walking towards the camera, El Jefe? Because he has to prove to people that he can still move. Because he's so fucking old. He's like, you know what? I look terrible, but if I'm walking as I talk, at least people will think, I'm still spry.
The best that we can to try to protect working class people, to make sure that the United States not only does not throw people off of health care, but ends the absurdity of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. We got a lot of work to do. But to be honest with you, tonight was not a good night. Thank you.
It's always about, more money, dude. Oh, we're not giving people enough money. The healthcare system's so fucked, bro. It really is. But yeah, let's just let the government take over it. That's going to fix everything, guys. That's going to fix everything. Gavin Newsom not happy? Pathetic. Senate Schumer is no longer effective and should be, Ro Khanna's mad, should be replaced. If you can't lead the fight to stop healthcare premiums from skyrocketing for Americans, what will you fight for? They're not happy, man. They're not happy. Right, again, calling it on Tuesday night. Dems could have done this deal 35 days ago. Yeah, they could have.
Republicans?
There's the theory is that they really wanted, because look, this is the same strategy from 2020. cause hardship for Americans, fuck over the American citizens so that they get angry, and then you win elections, because when people are angry, they blame it on whoever's in power. And in this case, it's Trump. And it's a strategy that works really well. But yeah, that's the theory, is that they wanted these elections to happen first before they would open the government, just to really rile people up.
Going to use leverage in their fight with Democrats when the Democrats are actually the ones with the upper hand in the eyes of voters.
Oh, I'm sure Democrats will be more than happy to open the government now. The election's over. I mean, part of the reason they shut it down was to get through tonight.
I mean, I
would suspect they'll be glad to open it up by the end of the week.
Adam Schiff,
he was right. He was fucking right.
Hold the line. AOC,
there's lots of rumors of people wanting to open it.
Look, I don't see what is the incentive for Democrats to back down when voters are basically saying Trump's not doing enough, it's the Republicans' fault, and then they basically handed the keys in this past election to the Democrats. Where's the leverage?
Again, these are blue states electing Democrats, not a shock. Democrats clearly wanted this shutdown to get through Election Day. I do think they are facing pressure from their internal.
I mean, that's a powerful motivator to get a lot of the poor people out to vote, you know? Take away their food stamps and be like, Trump took away your food stamps. Like, all of a sudden, you're not able to eat all your junk food, and you have to make like hard decisions at the grocery store to actually buy real food and not a bunch of snacks and candies for your kiddos. Yeah, that probably radicalized a lot of people to go vote who might not have went and vote otherwise.
Coalitions, the unions, the air traffic controllers, the government employee unions are desperate to get the government back open. They're feeling a little bit of internal heat. But again, the election's now over. I'm sure tomorrow morning phones will start ringing and it'll be open soon enough. This was a...
Yeah, you predicted that. This is, from the election day. Crazy. Breaking in an incredible sight, Senator Bernie Sanders is erupting on the Senate floor due to the Democrats caving on the shutdown. Oh, let's see this.
And that the way the process has been developed, it is impossible to delay the votes that are going to take place. And if that were not the case, that is certainly what I would do, because I think it is important that the American people fully understand what is being voted on today. Everybody in America knows that our current healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is cruel, it is by far the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and the
Brian Mahoney super chatted $10. Imagine rooting for privatized insurance companies in the year 2025.
Who's rooting for privatized insurance companies? Obama, who's forcing people, mandating that you get health insurance? I actually would get, in my opinion, I think we need to get insurance companies out of the healthcare system. We need to get them out of the fucking way. They're not helping. Go look at like people that you go get a MRI and it's like $5,000 through the insurance company, but like $750 if you pay in cash. The insurance companies are a part of the fucking problem. And then when the Democrats do anything, what do? Oh, let's just force people to get health insurance. No, fuck that. We need to get these parasites out of here, dude. And look, I would love to have fucking free health coverage and be able to go to the doctor. Like there are drugs I need that I can't afford. I would love to get all this dental work just done free. I would love that, dude. I would love that. The reality is we can't afford it unless we're going to go crazy. So you guys want to do that? Let's go through the books and figure out all the shit we need to cut so that we can actually afford to do that. Probably got to get rid of Social Security, phase that out. I mean, we can't just do everything, dude. You know what I mean? Like there are, we could figure out how to make it work in the budget, but we're not going to wreck the economy and totally destroy the value of the dollar. Then, hey, great. But that's not how Democrats are going to do it. They're just going to be like, oh, just keep printing it. I don't care. Let's print 20 trillion.
The only healthcare system of any major country that does not guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, covering every man, woman, and child. We are unique in that respect. And yet tonight, what this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse. So let's be clear what this vote is about. If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont and throughout this
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Every time this is a subsidy, basically to make it cheaper to go on into the health insurance marketplace and get insurance. From my understanding, every time they do this, insurance companies just raise the fucking prices anyway. Let's get insurance, Brian. I'm with you. Let's get insurance companies the fuck out of here, dude. The only way I see, like, maybe like for drastic, like emergency coverage where you get hit by a fucking bus and you need 100 surgeries, maybe there could be an insurance plan for that. But insurance being involved in every little fucking thing, it's not good for the
Mahoney
system.
super chatted $10. So you're admittedly in need of health coverage that you can't afford and you're parroting off Republican talking points in contrast to your needs? Here's $10. Go buy an Advil.
I already have plenty of Advil. Thank you, Brian. I got so much fucking Advil. I'm Advil rich right now. Yeah, because there's more to the picture than I just want free shit, Brian. There's like actually thinking about the country and the future of this country and whether we can actually afford to do something or not and not wrecking our fucking dollar. Are you mad about the cost of goods? Are you mad how the price of everything's going up and our dollar is buying less every fucking day? Your dollar has less buying power. There's a bigger picture here, Brian, other than just, oh, give me free shit, right? I could just be selfish and just be like, I don't care if we wreck the fucking country and we bankrupt the country, give me my free shit. Like, no, I understand there's a bigger picture here than just my feelings and what I want right now. Give me my shit. Sorry, Brian, sometimes we see beyond just our own fucking base needs into the big picture of what actually is good for the community, what's actually good for this country in the long run. And creating we already have a debt problem that's fucking insane, and making that even worse and destroying the buying power of our dollar. Like, I don't want that. Do you want that, Brian? I don't know, man. Again, maybe if we had reasonable leaders who went through and said, you know what, it's going to cost this amount of money, and we're going to have to cut all of these other things that are funded. We're going to have to massively downsize the federal government and stop spending money overseas, and we're going to have to make up the difference. But that's not what they're going to do, Brian. They're going to keep everything and just keep sending more money to other places while also adding on the enormous, unbelievable amount of money it would take to give everybody free healthcare. Be realistic, Brian. But thank you. That 10, I will. Well, I got plenty of Advil, Brian. I'm sorry. I can't spend it on Advil. I'm Advil rich, bro. I'm taking 4 of these every 8 hours, 800 milligrams. And then 4 hours after that, then I take 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol. So 800, 4 hours later, 1,000, 4 hours later, 800, 4 hours later, 1,000. My liver is going to be fucking wrecked. But all of this because dentists don't want to fucking prescribe you like pain pills anymore. I remember when I had my 2 top wisdom teeth removed, they gave me the fucking oxycodone or whatever. And I barely even needed it then because it was so fucking easy. My top, it was like nothing, no pain. And now that I'm actually in pain, I can't get a fucking pain pill to save my life. And it's frustrating because I'm not a fucking addict. I've had 5 times or more that I've had pain pills prescribed to me because I had my gallbladder removed, multiple dental, wisdom teeth removed. Never once did I get addicted to those fucking pain pills. Not a big fan of them, honestly. But I guess because there's too many fucking addicts going around shopping for drugs, I can't even get a pain pill from my dentist anymore. It's all just, oh, no, this is what they tell you to do. And yeah, it's better than no pain management, but this shit does not kill the pain. Especially when it's a nerve that's fucking, right now it's working pretty well. But if I was to like eat something and hit that nerve again, this shit is useless. Fucking useless, dude. I can thank the Sacklers. It's just so fucking annoying, dude, because I get it. Oxycodone, all those, opiates that they give for pain pills. It can be a problem. People get addicted through their doctor. But then there are a lot of us that use it actually for pain and don't get addicted. And now we're just fucked. Like, I don't want to be on them 24/7, but when I have this sort of issue, I'd like to have them until I could. Like, I literally had to go this weekend in extreme pain rather than just them giving me a fucking pain pill so I can make it till Monday. Fuck these fucking people, bro. There's always an overcorrection. There's people that fuck everything up, and then there's an overcorrection, and all of us get fucked over because of the tiny handful of fucking idiots that fuck it up for everybody else. You have to take it with ibuprofen? I don't know what we're talking about here. I have ibuprofen. This is Advil's ibuprofen. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I can feel my tooth starting to already act up. Plus, it's been 2 hours. Thank you guys for the support. You guys are great. I mean, thank you. A lot of you guys sent huge super chats. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, fucking junkies, Dante's Guide. Fucking junkies, bro. And it's frustrating because it's like, how hard is it to look at somebody's history? Like, don't they track this shit? Like, you should be able to look at my history and go like, oh, this guy's not shopping for fucking pills. And then you can see the exam and see my fucking cavity that's down to the fucking nerve and be like, oh, clearly this guy's got in pain because of this nerve. No, none of it matters. Just fuck you. Go take Tylenol and Advil for somebody stabbing, because that's what it's like. It's like somebody took a knife and just went boom. And then after the knife's in there, they're like twisting it and moving it up and down your fucking head. Like, great. Yeah, I don't need pain pills, guys. Fuck me. Fuck me. Pink Trip sponsored by Vicodin. I'd take that right now, dude. I would take a Vicodin sponsorship. That shit is a godsend. Yeah, I don't think there's an infection, Nincom Poop. I think it's just a nerve. You know, I've just let my cavities go. I don't, wasn't going to the dentist regularly to get my cavities checked. And this one, the cavity got so bad that like the nerve, is exposed. Like when I eat or like if I drink something and once something gets in there, like, oh my God, the fucking pain is insane. Thank you guys. Much love. Sorry I missed so many shows this week. I was really wanted to do more shows. I did Monday and then today, and it's just, yeah, hopefully next week we'll be back to the regular 4 to 5 shows next week.
Dante's Guide super chatted $2. Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, Matthew, gargle with salt water. It helps the toothache. Yeah, when it really does kick off, I will gargle with salt water. But one of the things that happens is like if I do anything with this side, it can trigger the pain to come. So even like salt water, just any kind of fucking with it can trigger pain. So if I'm not feeling that being stabbed in the face, I just want to leave it alone. But if I start feeling like I'm being stabbed in the face, then I'll gargle salt water. I'll get an ice pack and I even got like clove oil, but the clove oil seems to be doing fucking nothing. I don't know, man. Anyway, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., I'm going to the dentist, and hopefully this will be the last night of suffering. And I can begin my new life of pain-free, my new pain-free life starting tomorrow. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Hopefully they don't push me off again for more days, because I'm fucking sick of this pain. I'm going to end up going to a different dentist and being like, dude, I just want this pain to fucking go away. That's all I want. All right. Much love, guys. Thank you so much. Ice cold water helps too? No, it doesn't, Matthew. Is that a joke? If I drink ice cold water on this side, it would just totally, I can't even have any liquid touch this. You see what I'm drinking like this because any liquid that touches this, anything that touches it, if I just close my mouth and my molars touch, it fucking. Anyway, much love, guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, guys. Have a great night, okay? We'll see you later.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notification.